Rasmus, do you want to give us the cadence this morning?
Good morning. I'm Rasmus Jorgensen with the Mayor's Office. Thank you all for being here at IBEW. This morning, Mayor Spencer will give some exciting announcements, and we have with us a lot of partners who are helping the city. Among them are Rich Ledbetter with Guarantee Electric, who will be speaking after the mayor, and then we'll have Melissa Harlan with American Institute of Architects. And so the mayor will take the mayor.
Good morning. Thank you, Rasmus. And thank you all for being here this morning. It's been a harrowing journey from the time of the tornado on May 16th to where we are today, but the support and the dedication of our partners, many of whom are here today, has been phenomenal, and has truly allowed us to leverage the community and organizations throughout the St. Louis region to help support our community. Our state and federal partners, as you know, have been critical in outlining and helping us access to critical emergency support, but our local support community, including our nonprofits and our for-profit, our corporations and our companies, our local companies here, have been a tremendous source of resources and coming together and helping us support our community. I profoundly thank all of them. Today we are here, and I'm proud to launch 4 city-led city partnerships, really, that supplement the federal and state support to directly access funds at the FEMA level and other state programs. But these are programs, these are initiatives, these are things that we've heard from the community that are still unmet needs. I'm really proud to launch them here this morning. The first one is an electricity reconnection program. This will allow residents and homeowners to access free electrical inspections and repairs. We have heard from many residents that their electricity has been knocked off by the tornado. Reconnecting requires electrical permits and electrical expertise that many residents, homeowners don't have access to. That's the first program. The second is an emergency stabilization program. This is an urgent building stabilization program that will prevent further property damage. A contractor registration, which will allow residents to have access to lists of contractors that have been vetted through our process. And lastly, an Ask an Architect program. This will be free expert guidance for anyone planning repairs for their building. I would like to go through these one by one, but these are the 4 programs in a nutshell. I want to be clear on the front end of this that you know, from the beginning, we've just had a tremendous partnership. There's been so many folks beyond these programs that have been doing a ton of work outside of any official programs, but having these official programs in place will really help streamline and get these much needed resources reliably and safely into the homes of our community. The Electricity Reconnect program. This one is a really incredible initiative. We're housed here at the IBEW Local 1. You know, I have been partners with our IBEW for many years, and I don't know why, but it took today for me to realize that this is the home of Electrical Brotherhood, really. It's the first organized group of electrical contractors in the United States, right here with the number 1. It didn't dawn on me until Rich Ledbetter mentioned that here. So we are really truly the home of electrical expertise. We have some of the finest and best folks here in the nation, not just out of this brotherhood, but you know, in our broader community. And so having this here, thank you for hosting us. The electrical connection program, like I said, is going to be connecting homeowners to access to free expert electrical contractors who are going to be able to reconnect folks to the Ameren grid. You know, this program was really born out of a conversation that I had with Rich Ledbetter, who I'd like to invite up here to speak about the program here, and pulling together the partnership across many folks here to make this happen. But this is a serious investment on the part of Guarantee Electric, and as well as IBEW, the National, I want to get this wrong, the National Electrical Contractors Association, NECA, and the St. Louis Home Repair Program. We've got Arch Key Solutions and Saks, along with Guarantee Electric, who have made in-kind $100,000 donations of their time and material and expertise. in order to make this happen. And so with that, Rich, can I invite you up to speak a little bit about the program?
Got it. Thank you very much. In my mind, we're following the lead of our mayor of St. Louis. So, Cara, your effort, your intensity, your do whatever it takes in response to May 16th is a guide for all of us. It's extraordinary to be here at the heart of electricity in the United States of America, Local 1. So I just want to thank Frankie and Tim and our hosts with IBEW and their commitment to what we're doing. Archkey, Guarantee, lots of electrical contractors are committed to taking care of our neighbors. Our neighbors are in jeopardy. Their power grid has returned, but connecting to their houses requires safe installation for those service entrances. So just talking about how to do that, Guarantee, Archkey, lots of other companies are committing to an overall effort guided by the electrical connection, the partnership between NECA and IBEW. And so we're going to show up for our neighbors and make sure that they have safe electrical connections and they can cool down their houses. So thanks a lot. We're here to do whatever it takes, and let's keep it going. Anyone and everyone who wants to join the party, make sure you show up for us. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rich. This
got
is
it.
just an incredible opportunity for community to get reconnected and just a huge lift financially for so many families. I want to say this program is already underway. We are announcing it today, but we have been hearing through our portal. People are applying for or recognizing or really inputting that they need this service. So if you have applied or put in through the St. Louis City, stlouisrecovers.com website that this is a need that you have, or you have logged it through United Way, you are already on a list, and you should expect to get a call or a contact from this program to start the process of evaluation to get that ball moving. It's my understanding that we've had several houses that have already been evaluated, so the program is officially underway. Okay, really, truly just a huge lift for us. The second program I'd like to highlight is Ask an Architect. We know, in fact, at our town hall last night, we heard again from a few residents who need some help evaluating the structural integrity of their building, have questions about plans and all sorts of issues that a licensed architect would be best suited to help figure out for them. We are proud to be working with the AIA, the American Institute of Architects, the St. Louis local chapter here, to launch a drop-in free consultation program at City Hall. This is for homeowners or renters who have questions about the condition of their home, how to start repairs, how to rebuild safely, and just kind of get the advice of a licensed architect. That's going to be starting this week, and I'd like to invite Melissa from the AIA to come up and talk about that program. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Mayor Spencer. My name is Melissa Harlan. I'm the president of AIA St. Louis. We are the local chapter of the national organization that is dedicated to supporting and advocating for architects in the built environment. In the immediate aftermath of the tornado, our trained members deployed with Missouri Safe Coalition, and as of Friday, we have 40 additional architects in St. Louis trained in structural assessment and visual evaluation. Our next step is this partnership that includes the National Organization of Minority Architects St. Louis chapter and the city's building division. We'll be there Mondays and Wednesdays from noon to 3. We'll have members sitting at a desk ready to talk to you. And we're doing that to use our talents and our understanding of repair, rebuilding, permitting, and construction to help our community and our community members who have had their homes damaged. It is important to us as an organization and profession to positively impact our community and stepping beyond our everyday roles to help rebuild the city that we love and proudly live in. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. This is a huge opportunity for folks who just need some advice, want to know what they can do safely, and so we're encouraging folks to kind of come in and take advantage of those resources to have free architectural advice. Okay, the third program that we're launching here today is our contractor registry. We've heard from a lot of residents that are very worried about being taken advantage of by contractors, who's a good one, who's not. And so we've launched this program that can hopefully try to mitigate any fears about being taken advantage of. Every registered contractor is receiving a city-issued permit, which is a placard with a QR code that will link their verified license, insurance, and business credentials. We advise in the strongest possible terms, don't hire a contractor without checking first to see if they're verified through this program or through some licensing program. You don't have to use ours, but we are really encouraging contractors from across the city to go through this process. We already have quite a few that have already registered through our voluntary program, and you can find this at stlcitypermits.com/STL Recovery Registry, STL Recovers Registry. We'll give you all that link. It would be really helpful to get that out there because the more folks we have accessing it, the more local contractors we have signing up for it, the better off we will all be. Our goal here is really to protect residents from fraud by giving qualified contractors access to those in our community who need them. All right. Lastly, the Emergency Stabilization Program. This is a continuation of the work that has been underway since the immediate aftermath, and the city now has the necessary resources and partnerships in place to make sure this work gets done a little more thoroughly and more intentionally than we've been able to do up until this point. So specifically, this program provides urgent repairs to help prevent further damage. Contractors will provide these services, including professional grade tarping and really building stabilization pieces, removing hazardous trees or branches, and removing large debris piles into the right-of-way so that we can pick up through our current debris removal programs. This is a program that's available at no cost to residents with priority given to seniors and uninsured households. Our city representatives, for those who are utilizing the program, will contact you, confirm your needs, and schedule an on-site assessment with a contractor to prepare a scope of work. To do this, to access this, again, you can use our CSB portal by calling 311, or you can fill out an online request at stlrecovers.com. That is the same way that you'll be able to access the electrical reconnection program and any other programs that we're going to be launching moving forward as well. Okay, what a great lift and what a great morning to be able to launch these programs that can provide some greatly needed assistance to our community.
Mayor, what kind of manpower do these programs have, and maybe people that aren't prioritized or first in the pool of applicants, what kind of turnaround time can they expect before?
Yeah, so let's first talk about the electrical reconnect. This is one we have just heard from dozens and dozens of people. I think we're estimating a couple hundred households are in need of getting that professional grade reconnect to the Ameren grid. And so the commitment here, as I mentioned, is $100,000 manpower hours from both Guarantee and Saks Electric. That is a very, very significant lift. Once we start really putting the program to use and seeing how great the need is beyond those that have already put in, we will be reevaluating as that comes. But I want to be very, very intentional in saying, if you have that need, please, please, please apply for this. It is our goal to get everybody that needs this service reconnected.
Do people expect days?
People should expect days at this point. And so, there has been a fairly quick turnaround. Once we got the program going, we don't anticipate having any hiccups or issues. This is a program that's very important to us. And so if we evaluate that we need more manpower on it, we'll try to pivot and make that happen.
Is the city funding that Reconnect program?
The Reconnect program is funded by donations. This is a serious, serious lift by our electrical service community. As I mentioned, Guarantee Electric, Saks. These are huge donations of manpower and professional services to the broader community. And so right now, the city has been helping to organize this. We have city manpower that has really tried put the program together. But this is the heavy lifting is really done by our partnership in the community.
Will the city serve as the connection between the electrician?
the city is serving as that connection. That's where that portal comes in. You know, you can sign up on the city's website, and we are going to be making that connection for residents and the program community. So we're the glue holding the program together. We're administering it and making sure that the administrative part of it is there. But the heavy lift, the real work is being done by our community partners.
Mayor, obviously, your effort to try to protect seniors from scam contractors is important. We've seen the Missouri Attorney General, of course, down here dealing with the sheriff. Have we gotten enough from Andrew Bailey's office to help citizens deal with these unscrupulous contractors? Has his office been involved enough in this area?
You know, Mr. Bailey's office reached out to us immediately within a few days of the tornado and set up a hotline for fraud specific for the tornado. And Elliot, I can get you the details on it. I don't believe I have that specific hotline here, but it's important to share that information. We'll be making sure that we get that out there. From that perspective, from fraud prevention, I do know that this is a priority for their office, and we'll make sure we get that information out there for folks because it is super important to do. Yeah, what happened in the Grove over the weekend is so tragic and so heartbreaking. We had, as you may know, on Saturday night, you know, first of all, I will say that the Pride celebrations citywide this year were phenomenal. The weather was perfect. I had a phenomenal time. The parade was fantastic, and I am so grateful to be a part of celebrating the diversity of in our community. That being said, at the Grove, Saturday night, there was not an official event, but of course, as we all know, the Grove is a popular destination for people in the gay community and the LGBTQIA community, and one that was a community that was truly celebrating this weekend. On Saturday night, there were folks that were involved that came down to celebrate unofficially, and some fights broke out. There was gunfire exchanged. I believe there were 2 people injured. The police responded, our police department responded fairly immediately to the calls about violence, and were able to make at least 1 arrest. I think 2 arrests. I'm not certain on that, Mark, but there were arrests made in that shooting. The following night, you know, I personally reached out to several bar owners, as did many folks within the city government and within the police department, to kind of communicate about what the plan was for that night. Without a sanctioned event and a security process, protocol plan in place, it made it more difficult for city officials, including the police department, to be able to respond in the case that the crowd got out of control. It did get out of control again Sunday evening. There were fights, and essentially what happened as a result of that is the police department cleared the area to provide safety and security. But I will say, you know, it's heartbreaking scenario because the bar owners it wasn't a sanctioned event, you know, and so I think the real takeaway from my perspective, from my administration and for the city, is that we've got to find a path to really have sanctioned events with plans, safety plans, protocols in place in a way that isn't cost prohibitive to a community. And we're going to work on developing that plan so our police department can be prepared for safety and security measures. The community can have a protocol in place and have some expectations of what needs to happen to keep communities safe.
A separate issue, but there's an election today.
There is.
Are you making an endorsement, but can you describe, I mean, you know the board pretty well.
I do.
And how close issues can be sometimes. What's at stake in this race?
So when I was elected mayor, my position on the Board of Aldermen, the 8th Ward position, was vacated. And now, as of today is the election to replace me, or my former role as in the new alderperson to hold the position in the 8th Ward. So there's a lot at stake. The 8th Ward is a very important ward. As you know, it includes a good chunk of downtown and many neighborhoods all the way down to Carondelet, including Lafayette Square, Soulard, Benton Park, McKinley Heights, LaSalle, Marine Villa. There's a whole host of neighborhoods that the representation is up in the air today. I think it's an important election. I have to recognize that myself and many have been really focused on the tornado, and this election hasn't gotten maybe the the bandwidth, the airwaves that it might have gotten if we weren't so focused on the tornado relief. But it is an important election, obviously, and very important to the representation of those neighborhoods and the city as a whole.
I guess what I'm asking is, do you see that your agenda is on the line? If this race goes one way or the other, does it affect your ability to get stuff through the board?
Well, look, I'm the mayor of the city of St. Louis. I have great relationships across the Board of Alderpersons, across elected officials at the state and the federal level. And we find paths to agree on at every level. And I have no doubt that no matter who's elected in the 8th Ward, we'll find ways to work on things that are important to me and important to the city of St. Louis.
Mayor, when can residents start to receive these city funds, like the RAM settlement money and all that? When can they really expect to start receiving that?
Thanks for that question, Elliot. It is a priority of my office this week to get some of those RAMS funds moving. We are focusing our efforts on 3 key areas to get the immediate RAMS funds moving, and that is humanitarian aid. Elliot, you've done a great job highlighting the needs of our unhoused community, especially as the weather has gotten extremely hot. It was even, I would say, unusually hot for June, but nonetheless, being prepared to make sure folks have access to things to keep cool. We know, as we're getting folks back online with electricity, if you don't have a back wall to your house or your roof is missing, it's very, very difficult to keep your home cool. So we want to make sure folks have access to those things. We want to provide support to the nonprofit and the community that has been out there in community supporting community from day one to make sure that they can make payroll and keep those efforts going. And number 3, we want to be doing some hirings to provide some staffing to the direct outreach and other things that we need as we continue to communicate with our community. So we should start to see that fairly soon. There are, as you know, anytime you're looking at utilizing public funds, there are issues of transparency and issues of fairness in making sure that we get those funds out in a way that is compliant with all of our laws. So we're kind of working through those hurdles, but it is our priority to get at least some of those RAMS funds deploying out to community as soon as possible. So hopefully within the coming days is my short answer there.
Do you have any reaction to Governor Kehoe vetoing $1 million for the city jail?
Yeah, I was surprised about that and a little disappointed. We have a huge amount of need in our city jail, but the governor's veto list was enormous, and so I don't think that the governor, picked that particular veto item out. There were some other things in there that didn't get a lot of play. There was a couple $1 million that was supposed to go to the 22nd court. There's a lot of repairs that are needed over there in the court system. But it was, I think, the biggest veto, line item veto that I've ever seen. So I think, that it was not, those were 2 of many, many vetoes, line item vetoes in that budget from the governor. As far as the jail is concerned, this is also a priority for me and my administration. We took the oversight board last week with the director of personnel as well as the acting director of the jail. We took a full, I think it was a 2-hour tour of the facility to sort of level set what the priorities of this administration are as far as making that a safer place for folks to stay.
Mayor, we look along
Okay.
Streets like Newstead,
Uh-huh.
we've been over there,
Yes,
that looks like a war zone.
it does in some ways.
When do these areas begin to change? Like some houses are
Yeah.
just flattened.
Yeah.
When do we begin to clean up those areas or do something so it doesn't look like just bombed down?
Yes, I will say the debris removal has been an ongoing effort and one we will continue to prioritize. We have emergency contract out right now, so we're not just relying exclusively on the city to do that debris removal, but we have contracts in place. We are working with FEMA for a long-term debris removal plan, which we're hoping to have in the coming weeks. It has to be compliant with FEMA. This is an enormous amount of debris, Elliot, and we want to make sure that we're getting it out of community in the safest way possible and one that we can frankly be able to rely on FEMA to help us pay for. And so as we develop that plan, we want to continue to encourage residents to push any and all debris to that property line. We are still pulling it out of community as fast as we can under the current city workforce as well as that emergency contract with a plan in development to really be able to remove all the debris. It's a very complicated process, Elliot, as you can well imagine. The debris is so large. We're trying to handle it with the utmost care. We've got air monitors in place as well to make sure that we're monitoring any changes in air quality that may be the result of demolition, off-site repairs, things of that nature. It really is kicking up a lot of dust, especially in the heat. Now that the rain has kind of abated, those are serious concerns, and we want to make sure that we're handling any and all debris with the utmost safety precautions that we can. Tom, did you have a question?
With those flattened houses,
Yes.
how likely is it, you've seen some certainly, how likely is it that those homes will be rebuilt?
That is such a long-term question. I want to be very clear that we do not have the rebuild plan. We are really right now, we were in the response phase. We are shifting into a recovery phase. But as we recognize that the rebuild is going to be long, it's a long, long road. We're talking about years. We have all been experiencing trauma. The trauma that those of us in this room are experiencing is significantly less than those in our community. Those homes are flattened. But it's important that we set the table with members of all parts of our community to really develop that rebuild process, plan, and plan of action. So I would say that is years in the making, not years to fully implement. But that's something we're going to be shifting to once we really get all of the programs in place to really help us do the rebuild. Tom, do you have a question?
Yeah, St. Louis is a hub of prefabrication, modular.
Yes.
And we've got companies like Weeze, Guarantee,
Yes.
Saks.
Mhm.
We were looking at stuff, we've talked about Gateway South, we've talked about the Monarch. Is the city considering or visiting modularization to speed up the process that you're talking?
It is a great question. You know, there's so many things that are innovative in the building environment. From modular building, Tom, to AI doing the permit review and that sort of thing. So plan review. We are looking at all of those things. They're in the sort of toolkit. We don't have a plan specifically with modular builds. It's my understanding sometimes those can be even more expensive than traditional. It just really depends on kind of how those things deploy. But I do think, especially with the Gateway South and the interest and certainly the innovation that we have in our community, that should be on the table. It is on the table, and we're hoping to see some innovation here as a result of this rebuild effort.
Mayor, as a member of
Yeah.
the Board of Police Commissioners,
Uh-huh.
you'll have a lot of say and influence in crafting the bylaws and the practices of that board and how it conducts itself. Should members of that board have to disclose their financial holdings? And would it be appropriate for any members of that board to recuse themselves from any matters that might profit them personally?
Yeah, there's been a lot of question about perceived conflicts or even conflicts. I've seen some of the reporting over the weekend on that. And I think disclosure requirements are helpful, whether you're a voting member or not. I think that being as transparent with the public as any official can be is an important step in building trust and transparency. So I can't speak specifically, but I will say, generally speaking, I support those efforts to be transparent and have disclosures be a part of required communication with the public. And I'm looking forward to figuring out and working with the board to try to put some policies in place to do those things.
Does that mean you're going to push for those?
I do think transparency is a key piece here. And as we have those discussions, I will certainly be pushing for some transparency. Yes.
Are you satisfied with the governor's selection of the members of the police board?
I'm not going to weigh in on that, Elliot. I'm a member of the board, and I didn't have any say in who was appointed, but I am really ready to work with all appointed members to that body. And I think we need to get our work underway pretty soon here. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I will stick around and answer questions all night long. Even I know it's still morning, but you want to keep me here till the evening. As long as somebody's got a beer, I'll take one. But we can be here all night long. But I really also just want to highlight these partners again. I can't say enough. I mean, making calls to members of the community to step up and having you know, having our community step up in just new and important ways every single day is just an incredible testament to the willingness to help our community. This is, again, 4 important programs. As we move forward, we'll continue to build out on these successes and just really encourage your viewers to tap into these resources here today. Thanks, guys.